Hello and welcome back, artists and designers. Today we're going to talk about getting this vines project set up here in Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to this sketch here. So I have a new Photoshop document and I have this sketch laid out here on my artboard here. So this is a 12 by 9 document, and I'm going to show you two methods to get some really nice clean line work here with our vines. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new layer. And I'm going to do each vine on a new layer. I'm going to use some colors, but the colors are really just arbitrary for now to distinguish the differences between the layers, so I'm not really going to worry too much about them. Okay, so the first method here, I'm going to go ahead and just pick purple for this first row of vines. And I'm going to choose my brush, and I'm going to go under general brushes and choose the hard round brush because I want a really crisp, hard edge on this line. And I'm going to worry about the thick and thin like as I go. So I don't think I really want the pressure sensitivity. So if I use this brush right now, it kind of gets the effect, but if my hand is a little bit wobbly and wavy, you can kind of see I'm getting this unstabilized look to it, and it's not going to be very good. So I'm going to undo that. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to this brush. First off, I'm going to bring the flow all the way up. And then I'm going to go over to smoothing, and I'm going to bring the smoothing all the way up to 100% here as well. So opacity is 100, flow is 100, and smoothing is 100. So I'm going to zoom back out so you can see this whole thing here. And let's start with this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead now with my smoothing at 100, and I'm going to work through this fairly slow. But this is going to work a little bit better. Now I can see my line didn't come out perfect there, but I could double that back up and in a few passes kind of go by and do that. I think probably if I make my brush a little bit larger, that might help as well. So let's come back through here, try to clean up that curve. There we go. That helped out a little bit. Let's kind of backtrack here. Bring that brush in a little bit. So that is going to be one way that can kind of help you get a smoother edge and a smoother line to this. So this would be me kind of coming through here. I'm not taking super good care to do this, but of course you could do a better job. But that's able to get, if I hide my sketch, that's pretty smooth. I got a couple points that I don't really like, but again, you could kind of hide the sketch. Maybe go back over this, clean it up a little bit. You can change the brush to be the size sensitive brush, but I think you're going to probably have some issues with that. So this will help to get you a pretty good clean line with it. Now, of course, you could use the pen tool if you want to go through and do that, but you know, I'm just trying to show you a quick method that you would be able to use this for. So I'm going to do that. I could do a new layer. Grab another random color here again just to distinguish between the different layers, and let's say I want to do this one, so I'm going to go back in this one. I'm going to show you one more thing here that you can do with the smoothing, which could also potentially help. So that worked pretty well, and I could layer that up a second time. If you can do it all in one pass, that's how you're going to get the smoothest line possible with it. So rather than stopping and starting a bunch of times, if you can kind of keep it going and get it to kind of blend in with it, that is probably going to be your best bet. I'm going to show you one more thing that you can try up here. If you click on this little gear by the smoothing, you can try this pulled string method, which is pretty interesting. So now if I do this, you're going to see there's like a circle that goes with it, and it kind of catches up. So this allows you to kind of adjust before your brush gets there and keep it a little bit smoother. I don't know if this is super functional for me, but you could try it and see if it works for you. It's a little bit harder to know where the brush is actually going to be, but it does kind of work. So there we go. I could keep working my way through that. And again, in this step, we're not going to worry about the overlap, you know, the front and behind. We'll do that in another step. So that would be my suggestion for you. If you want to go right into Photoshop, go ahead and use that hard round brush, you know, crank everything up to 100 and just try to work your way through it. Make your brush as big as it can be for like the thinnest part of the vine, and kind of work on getting nice smooth curves around on there. Okay, that's it for this video, and in the next one I'm going to show you how to do the same thing, possibly a little bit easier using Illustrator.